My fiance wants me to fire my gynecologist because he is male. I had a gynecology appointment last Wednesday with my doctor, who for privacy's sake I will refer to as Mr. Jones. I've been seeing Mr. Jones for 4 years now because my previous gynecologist, who was female, moved to a different state. I adore Mr. Jones. He makes me feel comfortable, he is extremely qualified, and I never had any issues with him. I have heard horror stories about male gynecologists in the past, but they never have applied to him. My fiancé asked me how my appointment went and I told him. But this is the first time my husband heard that my gynecologist is male. He got uncomfortable and asked why I'm seeing a male doctor, but I told him that's just how it happened and it wasn't something I was specifically looking for. We got into an argument, and he said he feels uncomfortable with another man being intimate with me in that way. I told him I've been seeing Mr. Jones for 4 years, and that's when he got completely belligerent. He yelled at me, said that I'm psychologically abusive, and left the house. Ever since Wednesday, my fiancé and I have not said a single word. I've been sleeping on the couch and crying myself to sleep every night. I don't want to lose a great healthcare professional in my life, but I don't want to lose my relationship either. Should I fire my gynecologist or should I come to some sort of compromise with my fiancé? Edit, my fiancé will be accompanying me during my appointments. This is the agreement that we made so there could finally be some peace in the house. I'm not thrilled about him tagging along, but I do not have the energy to argue with him any longer. I have a full-time job and a child with autism. Fighting with my fiancé is the last thing I need on my plate. This way I can keep my fiancé happy while also keeping my doctor, so I'm counting this outcome as a win for both of us. Comment. Took me a minute to comprehend this when I read it. Still not sure how the fiancé came to this conclusion, but it makes me think he maybe never actually learned what intimacy is, regardless of being engaged. The look on his face is gonna be priceless when he sees the speculum, where it goes, and how it's used. Maybe that will cure his stupidity. Although I doubt it. According to her update, he will now be accompanying her to her OBS appointments, which she isn't thrilled about, yet is counting this as a win for both of us. What's really bothersome there is she seems to not realize that his actions are just a symptom of a bigger problem. Being fine with her crying and sleeping alone on the couch, accusing her of psychological abuse, lashing out and yelling, refusing to communicate, jealousy over a medical professional along with failing to differentiate between healthcare and intimacy. Something tells me this isn't the first time Op's fiancé has lost his shit and acted in a controlling manner. And won't be his last. My experience with male gynos has always been better than with women, and I've had that echoed by others. It seems that there is an anecdotal but not unheard of tendency for women gynos to be slightly more brusque and less cautious or gentle, because as humans who share our genitalia, they're more matter of fact about everything that's going on, whereas male gynos often feel a responsibility to tread lightly, as it were, being aware that they cannot ever be in their patient's place, and must therefore try to assume our discomfort and proceed accordingly. This has definitely been my experience. My female gynos have been polite but businesslike. On the other hand, as a young teenager dealing with some unfortunate hormonal issues, I had an older male pediatric gynecologist, the first I ever dealt with, who was the kindest man I've ever met. That man had seen some horrors, and made me feel safe as houses. Next story 2. How do I tell my unemployed boyfriend that I need space? I work full-time, and my days are quite long. I get home around 6:30 to 7 p.m. and most days I just want to hang out with my cat and get some time for myself. I've been wanting to start side projects and to learn more things, but I never find the time. As he doesn't work, he has time for himself all day. He comes to my place about 20 minutes after I get home, eats here and hangs out until late at night, like 11 to 12 p.m. Basically I don't have time to do anything on my free time because he's over at my place and I have to hang out with him. I don't mind a few times a week, but it's been every day for a while, and now my life revolves around him and my work. This weekend was exactly the same. I wanted to have some free time to do stuff on my own. At some point this evening he asked me if I wanted some time alone. I said yes, but he stayed anyway. 2 hours later I had to order food for the both of us. Money also became a problem recently. He got a good amount of money when he left his company 4 months ago and it was gone in 2 months. For the last 2, he has been struggling because unemployment doesn't pay enough to handle his loans. He doesn't have any savings either. He's in the process of selling his car, and now I will have to go see him after my long work days, or pick him up to go to my place and bring him back at night. On Friday he invited me to go out with his friends, but when we got drinks and the bartender told us the price, he just looked at me. I had to pay for ours and his friends' drinks, and when one friend realized and tried to intervene, my BF told him to drop it and let us pay. It's definitely not our money. After that, time to eat, he let me pay for his food, and when we got soft drinks, which are cheap, I thought he would at least make an effort and pay for it. He grabbed the drinks and went to the table, leaving me alone at the bar to pay. When he still had money and we started dating, he paid for a few things and invited me out sometimes. Most of the time we shared the bill. But now he always pulls the I didn't hear it was time to pay and I end up paying because it's so embarrassing. We have a vacation coming soon and he was supposed to be able to pay half, but I'm afraid I will be paying most of it. I feel like he's very dependent on me right now and I need space away from him. Also he's talking about starting his own business but he doesn't have any money for it, and he has been talking about moving in together. I can see a pattern with my ex-boyfriend who I stayed with for 4 years and it's really bothering me. I did everything for my ex and supported him while he tried to open a business, failed, and then worked in a field where he made more than me, but still let me pay for everything and never invited me anywhere. Am I being a fool again here? I'm tired of men depending on me. I gave so much to my ex, not just financially, for him to just forget about me and take me for granted. It really destroyed me and I don't think I can handle it again. Comment. Here is a reason this 36-year-old man is dating a 24-year-old woman, and that's because he knows he can take advantage of you. And look. He's 100% taking advantage of you and you're just rolling over and letting him do it. I wouldn't be thrilled if my 24-year-old daughter was dating a 36-year-old to begin with, but an unemployed 36-year-old who's mooching off her? Oh no. What's going on with you? Do you feel you have to settle for some reason? Or do you have to be the perpetual giver to have value or feel okay about yourself? Because if you don't figure out why you need to do this, you will keep attracting users. You're young. I would dump him. Get yourself into therapy and not date anyone until you feel worthy of a balanced partnership. You are giving to try to heal the wounds you suffered as a child, honey. What you need to realize is that the only way to truly be a giver is to take care of yourself first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You must prioritize your needs. That includes your needs from a partner. Cancel the trip, use the money to pay for a good therapist for yourself. Taking care of your mental health game will be cheaper than supporting this leech. You deserve a soft life full of love and a partner who contributes meaningfully to that. You are worthy. Be kind to yourself. Work on building yourself up so that you never accept less than you deserve again. You deserve a partner who always does their best to put equal into the relationship. You're not dumb, you're learning this about yourself much earlier than a lot of people do. You seem very mature and insightful. It's easy for us to see this for what it is because you've spelled out how things are right now, but relationships change slowly over time. If he was like this in the beginning, you probably wouldn't have continued dating. Moochers will slowly change the dynamic over time, so that all of a sudden it's like, fuck, when did I end up paying for everything and doing all the work? It doesn't happen overnight, so it's hard to know when to call it. But it sounds like it's time to call it on this bum. I think you need to be more firm. He asked if you needed space and you said yes, but he stayed. Why didn't you Show him to the door. Signal him to leave. Be like, okay, so when am I going to see you next? And start saving good night. He seems very bad with money and irresponsible with his employment and stuff. But I'm not sure why you are not enforcing your own boundaries. I need a night alone tonight. That's all you need to tell him, and he shouldn't come over. Talk to him about the upcoming vacation. Say you went to chat about the budget. Go through everything and decide how much you expect to pay each single day from each of you. Write a list. If the expectations are clear, you can then react to whether he fulfills them or not, but it sounds like nothing is really talked about clearly or decided together in a super clear way. If he can't commit to paying half, maybe you should say you don't think you guys can afford a vacation right now, and cancel it.